Okay.
Welcome everyone. This is the Sprint 3 review. This has been a 1.5 week sprint due to the holidays, so it's going to be a little shorter than the previous ones you've seen. And again, the goals are the same. We're going to just review really quickly the work that we've completed and present that to you guys as the stakeholders, and then we celebrate. Again, we'll ask the questions. Wait until after Reese is done with the demo. And also, we want to please document your questions so that we can pass those through John and Steve and be sure that we're prioritizing appropriately. And again, I'm going to remind you guys, if you're not speaking, please put your microphones on mute. And Robin is also, just going back to questions really quick, Robin has also posted a note in the chat that we are watching that if you have any questions during the demo that you want to put in there, and we'll address those once the demo is complete. Wanted to give you guys just a really quick overview of the project schedule. We are currently, today is the last working day of week 12. And you can see there we're ending sprint 3. We'll be starting sprint 4 next Monday, and today we got scheduled for the base install and the base theme to end. Just a quick screenshot. As we go through, we create these user stories outlining the work, and then we prioritize that at the beginning of each sprint. And this is what made the backlog for sprint 3. Just a really quick overview. Some of it was QA, and but this is the work we were going forward in this sprint. Before we get into sprint 3, we wanted to step back and review, like, just a reminder, everything we did in the sprint 1. If you remember, Larry went through some of the basic content editing, page layout. He created basic page, showed you some of the fields, went through some of the publishing options and user roles. We went through adding some multimedia, adding a photo, embedding some video, went through the metadata options and how that gets added, demonstrated how the navigation can be created, in most cases automatically in Drupal. And also went through some of the views. One piece was quickly adding a faculty list, and then some other general page layout options. And then just a recap from Sprint 2, Ryan went through, logged in, demonstrated SSL support. He created a calendar, demonstrated some of the, in creating a general page, how the taxonomy is going to work, showed you the descriptions and even some of the accessibility, the 508 compliance pieces, and demonstrated the free tagging. And one of the big features we also did was the portal team, the RSS feed that we would make available for them, and demonstrated how that could be used and parsed out to get the HTML available for the portal site. And we also, during the last sprint, we delivered an improved modules list as well. So I'm very happy with that. In this demo, what Reese is going to be showing you in a moment, we're going to go through some of the site installation features. He's going to show you in some of the content migration, just how we're getting some of the menu items out, and also in some of the content layout. We're going to be working off of a sub theme, and he's going to demonstrate some of the menu responsiveness and styling and navigation and a style plugin that we're going to be using for that. And then also one of the big items is the site search by users, where we're going to be demonstrating the Google Search Appliance and how that's been implemented thus far. So if Reese, if you're ready, I'm going to turn this over to you and let you get started with the demo.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, Reese, it should be turning over to you right now.
Yep. All right. It should be. Can everybody see that?
Yes,
Or have I done something wrong? Okay.
I'm seeing your screen. It's the Drupal.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a standard looking Drupal install. One of the things we did this sprint was add in the option to enable or disable some of the features that we felt were optional. As you can see on the screen, they list the faculty features, staff, calendars, or news. If a given site decides it doesn't want one of these, you can just turn it off at this point, and then it won't be enabled once you install. And it, like the note says, you can always come back and turn that feature back on at a later date if you decide you want to. So, like for instance, if I don't want calendar, I can turn it off and then hit continue, and it will go through and finish the installation process. But we're not going to wait on that because we've got things to do. This is the site once you get it installed, and as Tom said, we're working on a sub-theme of the UMN base theme. So, but it looks the same. It's a structural difference. So I can also I'm going to do a little bit of more migration. Last sprint we did some stuff on. Well, I did the content migration. We showed that off a good bit. This sprint it's going to be the menu migration. And well, when it's up here, what's going to happen is I'm going to go over to the migration. See, I had to run the node migration to be able to run the menu migration because if we don't have nodes, we can't make menus to anything. But all I have to do is just come over here and say menu migration, and hit execute. It should take no time. And then we go to the menu. And the menu is all laid out and with parent, children, and grandchildren. Let's see, let's go to this parent one. One of the other things to show off this sprint was this menus we have set up. And it's kind of hard to see because they're unthemed right now. But this area up in the top is a main menu. And all I have in it is the one parent. And then this side menu is children of that parent. And all we have is this first child and the second child. But they don't look that good right now. And one of the things we added in this sprint was style plugins to these menus. So I'm going to go change those real quick. So go to Panoply and we go to these pages. And since they're all general pages, just come change them over here. And right now it says there's no style applied. So let's change that. And this is all the style plugins for these menu blocks. And since it's a private navigation, I'm just going to pick primary navigation 1 and hit next. And then we also want to change the second level. Yes.
I just want to let you know there's a little bit of lag time with the screen update. So
say that again.
There's a little bit of lag time when the screen updates from what you're clicking. So just maybe slow down just a little bit so everybody knows what you're clicking.
Okay. So in that case, I'll just go over this again and do it slower this time. The main menu is up top. I'm just going to go to the right. This little cogwheel. And before it said no style was applied up here. Now I have to do is just click change. And it brings up this nice HXD window. And all of our style options are on the left side. And we have 2 for primary and 2 for secondary. I'm just going to pick this primary option 1. And then hit next, and that should save it. And the other menu we have style plugins for on in this sidebar. So I'm going to do the same thing, click the little cogwheel, and it comes down and says there is no style, which showed up before because it didn't have style. Then change, and we have the theme options, and just to go along with that, I'm going to pick option 1 here as well. And then hit next, it'll save. And then save the Panoply settings. And we get a lovely message that it's saved. And now, to make sure I go back to the same page, I'm going to come back through here and do it again. Then go back to parent 1, and they are all styled. I'm actually not sure how well y'all can see that, but there's a gray background and a hover over when I change it for this secondary navigation. And there's also another one. Actually, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the other one as well. Just a little faster so that I don't have to show it off again. Just pick option 2, save, cogwheel, change style, option 2, and save. Save it all over again. We don't need this anymore. And there's the other options. And I think in the designs, this will be laid in a red area. The background doesn't belong with the menu, so that's why it looks a little out of place. Excuse me. And like Tom said, one of the big things for this sprint is search, which is, if last sprint it was up in this little box, but it didn't actually go to anything because we didn't have all that set up. This sprint, that's all actual, yeah, that's all set up. Now, since this is a fresh install, I'm gonna go and configure this. Go through configure, and there's a search and metadata. The first thing we need to do is select whether we want to use the new Google Search Appliance 7 or the, I don't know, I guess tab search that's in place, I guess, on most sites now. I'm going to start off with tab search, that's what's selected. Save it just to make sure. And we can either go to it here or go back to the search metadata and go to tab search configuration. I believe right now on the current UMN sites, all of these options are, you enter these manually, but it's fairly straightforward. Whether you want it to be use HTTPS or not, whether you want it to be secure or not, yeah, sure, we'll pick yes. There's a search argument that goes at the end of the action URL. As per the docs, I think S is everything. It's everything, and TC is the other option. For Twin Cities, it was designated. I think the docs of those are the only ones that are set up for general use. List of sets. These are just the sets of tabs, I do believe, that we set up, and I'm just going to use the ones that were set up as an example. That. These other options, none of them are required. Initial tab to display lets you pick which tab you want to display. In the zero index, you pick 2. If you pick 1, it'll be the second tab. Result restricting host name is you can restrict the results to a host name. If you an additional tab label host name, if you give it a label, it won't use just this site. It'll use whatever name you want to give it. Well, I think there's this one. I think these both can go on with the label. So we'll just save that and I'll show that it actually works. That shows it works. We're going back to the home page, and I'm just going to search test. It should send me off site to the UMN search page. And there it goes. And we have tabs for Twin Cities and Duluth. But now we can go back. We'll go again to the search configuration and change it to Google Search Appliance to show that that's there. So you just change it to Google Search Appliance 7 here. Get a lovely confirmation message. And then go to GSA options. These are a bit more complicated. Collection. It's not strictly required, but it's recommended to have. If it's left blanket search, it searches the entire system. The example given was system-wide, which might be the same thing as Blink, I'm not sure, but we'll use that. It tells GSA which collection to search over, so you could restrict the results to a given set. The front end, It tells you that there can be added extra things in the front end, like related queries, key matches, one box modules. So things that on the GSA side that can be added. We're going to use search UMN as a default. Output is just an option that has to be set to this variable to use the other proxy style sheet that UMN wants. But we left it there so that when people come back and see, you can see that it's actually set and know that it's set. And then proxy style sheet, kind of like it says, it's the style sheet that GSA uses to style the results that you ask for. We hit save, go back to home, and we'll use test again, because why not? And that sends us to Google Search Appliance, searching the entire university. Back. And I think that's all. Yep, that's all for me.
Okay.
Switch it back over to Tom if I can find the button.
I'll take it back. Thanks, Reese.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Reese. That was great. I know some of the search pieces are working well. We're glad to see that. Some of the items that were completed during the sprint that you did not see in the demo, some work on the base installation, some in the content migration. That's between Reese and Ryan DeBaker on the UMN side, where those guys are working out how to bring in the asset tokens and getting internal links out of the content that's in content currently, and then some of the features. And also, one of the first pilot site is the grad school, and we did get the mock-ups for that theme reviewed, and we'll be starting on that in the next sprint. Some items that were not completed during the sprint that we really wanted to get done was on the Acquia side. Both of these actually are on the Acquia side. The layer cake installation, we're very close on that. And then the shibboleth piece for the user authentication took precedence, and there's still some ongoing back and forth that we're working with and getting a little more information on to get that working on Acquia servers. So that's still going, and we'll plan to get that done and carrying over into the next sprint. Action items. Again, we're going to be updating user stories as needed. For any bugs that we've noticed during the sprint, we'll have those in the QA. And again, sprint 4 will be a full 2-week sprint. We start playing this coming Monday, and we'll have the sprint review. That's a typo on my part there. It'll be Friday, December 13th. So that should be our lucky sprint demo there. And again, next steps on the UMN side, we'll be working with Steve and John to get the prioritization of the backlog and any follow up on any questions you guys might have from this sprint. And then on our side, we'll be working again, carrying forward with the user authentication, the shibboleth piece, and the basic layer cake implementation on Acquia servers. And again, we say this at the end of each sprint, but John Starr and Steve Wynn and Ryan DeBaker, Christina Goodwin, Jim Hart, David, Jordan. Jordan was new on this sprint. He really stepped in and helped us with the grad school mock-ups and giving us what we needed there and helping get that completed during this sprint. And so great job on Christina, I think, bringing him in a little late in the game, but just getting him in to get that done. But these guys, they meet with us literally every day, and they put in a lot of work and to meet deadlines that are often pretty tight. So just let you guys know on the UMN side, these folks are really contributing a lot and working hard, and we really appreciate that. So we thank everyone at UMN, and we hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. So at this point, we're going to turn it over for questions if anybody has any.
I'm wondering on the Google search appliance, is there an option to enter the default text that appears in the search box before you start typing anything?
The placeholder text? No, there's not, but I could add that fairly easily.
Okay.
John, that might be something we want to bring up during sprint planning Monday.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see, I've been watching the chat. No questions came in there. So, was anybody else have questions? Is everybody ready to go home for Thanksgiving? Okay, I think everybody, based on what I'm seeing in the chat, I believe everyone is ready to get started on Thanksgiving. I'm starting to see mashed potatoes and turkey, and
It's getting hungry now.
yeah, so it's lunchtime and everybody's hungry.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
This is Steve. I've got a question about migration.
Okay.
The demo that you presented there, is that assuming then that you've already taken the export from what Ryan provided and somehow stuck it into Drupal, and then you run that tool to present it into that form or that page you displayed? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the menu migration is dependent on the node migration because if the nodes don't exist, we can't create menu items. Menu items require a valid URL to be created. Yep. But I just went ahead and ran the node migration before the demo, so we didn't have to wait on that. But it works the same. They both work the same way. You just check the box, hit import, and it just churns through them.
Right,
Okay.
and so the step prior to running those migration processes is that those tables are in the same database as the Drupal database.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Let's see, any other questions lingering? Okay, well, again, we thank everybody for their time, and we're going to end the demo now. John, I'll have the video file and for the recording and everything set up for you in the Dropbox soon. Okay, thanks everybody. We're done.
Have a good